What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Glad to have everybody here on this lovely Wednesday afternoon here in North Texas. It is absolutely howling outside. Up at my house, I've had winds over 44 miles an hour with gusts up close to 50 miles an hour. So I'm glad to be inside. I saw Blue Games flying earlier. He flew his A310 in a DFW with the gusty winds. It was pretty crazy. He did a fantastic job getting it down. But we are here, we are ready to get it on. It's a morning in Vietnam, it's calm, it's cool, a little bit of haze on the horizon, and my sim is exceptionally loud to my ears here. Turn it down a little bit. But I hope you guys are ready. What is up, Team Vodka in chat? Mrs. Jungles, Herman Ronk, welcome back to Private Pilot, sir. Christian, good to see you. Scott, Anthony Anderson, and Marcus, Chris Rund with you, sir. Welcome. Gene R. Hoffman, good day, sir. Captain Geo Yo-Yo, what's up, man? 1+F. Wow, I haven't seen your name in a while, sir. Look at those Captain bars. 1+F is rocking. You've been around a long time, sir. Good to see you back here in the chat. Sergey, always good to see you. Tom Pasco, and many more. Scott, I see you checking in up top there, all my members. We are ready to rock and roll. It's a shorter flight today, guys. We're in the 321. We're headed down to Da Nang. I've never even landed there. I don't think I even have the scenery for it. I don't think one exists. So we're going to just admire the sunrise. We're going to admire some new flight control setups that you guys have seen that before. So, oh man, why did that? Oh, Spacing Out with Ginger, what's up? Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it. Just your friendly and neighborhood Ginger, man. Ginger, welcome. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for your support here on the channel. Cody Shepard, welcome. Welcome to Commercial Pilot, man. Glad to have you on board as well. All right, guys. Live time and live weather. Not live time because it was too dark. We'd make the whole flight at night. So we're going to be rocking it at... what is it? I think it's like 6-ish in the morning here. Hold on. I need to pause track IR. And I need to go here. There we go. And we're going to be rocking the Carta IAE engines, exclamation point engines in chat. And Cody, exclamation point welcome if you wanted more information on your perks as a commercial pilot. So, yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on here. We haven't even left the gate yet. So let me go ahead and get things set up here. Another membership. Thank you so much. A membership celebration. Hello from Finland, 9 months. Wow, it feels like a reunion here on this Wednesday. I'm going to have to stream on Wednesdays more often. Good turnout today. Love seeing you here. Thank you for the 9-month support there. Appreciate that. All right, we are completely cold and dark. I'm going to have to figure out a new microphone setup here because I feel like I have to lean into the microphone to talk, but then I need to sit back because this yoke is in my way, and I got my lovely new side stick mount, which we will show you. I'll give you a little sneak peek. Side stick cam. What's going on? We're going to save that for takeoff and landing. So let's go ahead and get the airplane at least aligning. I see a lot of questions in chat. I love seeing that. Let's get the airplane fired up, and then we'll deal with getting to some of the other housekeeping tips. But we're going to go batteries on first. 1 and 2 can come on. I do have a properly updated 321 this time. I was on the wrong version before, but we got a properly updated 321. Just so I can prove it to you here. Where is it? 1.3.1 is set, and I also have our faults. We are still rocking 50% faults. That is enabled. I didn't bring my actual iPad today, so I really hope we don't have any compounding faults. But this aircraft, I've specifically moved the engine age and the aircraft age to a little bit older, since this is just a straight-up classic 321. No sharklets, no FMS2. Well, this has FMS2 because Toliss is awesome. But I think in real life, it's just an old-school 321-200. Christian, what is up, man? Upgraded to commercial pilot? Wow, good thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Hey, I don't know if you ordered one of the side sticks yet, but the commercial pilots actually have their own section in the Discord as well, and I updated the commercial pilots on the side stick information before the private pilots. So hopefully you'll still get yours, man. Appreciate the long support, Christian. Tom Pasco, 20-month membership as well. Well, it's already dinging at me. Nav barrel ref discrepancy here. Like I said, I was going to get the airplane set up, and you guys are just all coming in here with the chats. Tom Pasco, 20-month, man. Took Zibo into DFW about an hour ago. I feel abused. Tom, I am so thankful I'm not flying today. It is absolutely a ripping out there. All right, let me at least get some stuff going on here. Here we go. We're going to go up the left-hand side. Crew supply oxygen is on, and ground control push button on. Get the ADIRs aligned. And I do have something I want to show you guys. I want to test a widget here. I think you guys are gonna like this. So you're gonna see like a random. You're gonna see a random dono here in the chat. It's just me testing it, but I want you guys to check out my new GIF and audio. So I have audios and GIFs for all of the like memberships and super chats and all that. As I speak, Cody Shepard, thank you so much, man. $5 bomb howdy from your neighbor in the West Parker County. Ooh, yeah, sitting in the fire dispatch office waiting for these crazy winds. Cody, man, I appreciate you firefighting, man. You guys are awesome. First responders, firefighters, you guys make the world go round. So I appreciate you, and hopefully you don't get too busy out there. But check out this little dono GIF I got going on here.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
I thought you guys would appreciate that. I got that together before the stream. So I got the bank angle check GIF going on for donos. I thought that was pretty funny. All right, we got a lot to talk about, and I'm going to be sitting here the whole freaking stream if I don't get the airplane set up. So I'm going to just ignore you guys for a little bit here. Let me get everything set up. We're going to get our nav light on. We're going to turn that off. That comes to auto. Arm those up the left-hand side. Oop, we don't need any pumps right now. We're going to do a fire test. 1, 2, 3, APU. That's a very poor fire test. Probably get fired if I did that in real life. Anyway, we're going to go up the right-hand side. That can come on. PA is out and off. That looks good. I've already got my brightness set up here, except for my FMS. Ooh, FMS. Flying too much BAE 146s. McAdoo here. I got the McAdoo fired up. Then we're going to come down here to the initialization. IAE V2500s. Yes, sir. VVNB is our departure, and we're going to VVDN. So anytime there's a dono, I see you guys just got it there. I know there's about a 30-second delay in chat, but anytime there's a dono, I need my members. I'm going to need you guys to absolutely spam it's the only spam that's acceptable is spam the bank angle check emoji whenever there's a dono. So I appreciate your support. I thought that'd be fun, especially as we're making our way over to Pero, where that video was shot. If you guys are wondering what that came from, it's real life footage of an aircraft, 737 Classic, I believe, going into Pero. And if you haven't seen the full thing, you got to look it up on YouTube, because it's just wild. I don't know how they survived. I don't know how he has a job or whatnot. But anyway, VVN 357. Actually, no, I think we're HVN, right? HVN 357. I don't know. No ATC out here. We're going to go cost index of 85. How's that sound? Cruise flight level 340 is a little bit aggressive, but we'll do it. What the heck? Plus 13 up top, so it's minus 40. So we're going to do a negative 40 in the cruise temperature there. Now, you know what's interesting? Is there an option? So I think FMS2 stuff is only in the Neo on Toliss. Am I correct? Because I should have the temperature here on the McDo with an FMS2, and I'm wondering if it's because I'm in a classic 321. If that is, because I know in the Neo it has FLS. We did an FLS approach the other day on stream. So good on you, Toliss. I didn't even pick up on that. That's freaking awesome. Anyway, so we got our flight plan set there. Let's go here, departure. We're going to depart off runway 11 right this afternoon. And we don't really have a departure procedure from SimBrief, which I thought was interesting. Let's see what we can pull up here out of Hanoi. Can't wait for me to take the Classic into Pero, Tom. Hey, no guarantees I'll be taking the Classic, but we'll see. TAM to 3 Alpha. This one is, nope, don't want to do that one. Captain Geo, what's going on, sir? I'll be the first one. Oh, Geo. It's on the dono. It's not on a super chat. It's on a dono. I should have made that a little bit more clear. Geo, I appreciate your $2 support, man. Thank you so much, dude. You're awesome, Geo. Rocking the Real World Truck Simulator as well. I've been catching some of that live, dude. I actually threw you up on the big screen the other night. Me and the wife were just. She's like, "Is this people drive?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he's a real driver. There it is, Scott, $25 bomb, dude. Thank you so much, man. I apologize for ever. Let's see, I lost your message there. I apologize for ever flying the bus with the yoke, stick, and base on order. Scott, You are absolutely forgiven, sir. Thank you so much for that donut. I appreciate it. And there comes the bank angle check emojis. Appreciate your support, sir. You're going to absolutely love the stick. We're going to talk about it in cruise if I could ever get off the gate here. It's just everyone's jacked to be on stream. I appreciate the enthusiasm. All right, we're going to take this one, the bun bow, out to, no, you know what? Screw that. I don't. Erase that. What's our actual flight plan? SimBrief didn't give me a departure, which I thought was interesting. We'll just go Vitra. Let's just get this in the box here. Vitra is set. I might have to turn the audio down because that bank angle check scared. It's pretty loud. Vitra, November Alpha Hotel. And you know what? I'm going to pop this out and bring it around here so I don't have the mouse lag. November Alpha Hotel. We're going to insert that. And then we're going to go Airways. We're going to go here. We're going to go here. Quebec 1. And we're going to take that out to Hammond. Hamin. And we're going to set that right here. Insert you. And then it's to Cahillo. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. Insert that. And then a direct. And we're just going to load up. We're going to land north on the 35. I'd like to land 35 right. Let's do the ILS 35. Actually, you know, we'll do 35 left Zulu. No star, really. Actually, let's do the Cahillo one. Let's do this. I'm just kind of building this as we go here. All right, I got to figure out where my bindings are. Now that I've got my side stick, I've got some different bindings for bringing up Avitab and all that. So let's go plan mode, make you large, zoom it out. How's this look? So we're departing. There's our waypoints all the way down. Oh, that'll work. Looks like it's a procedural turn. All right, that works for me. That looks good. And you know what, here for the departure, if you guys ever want to do this, let's get back to some educational stuff here on the sim. So when I have no departure procedure and we have a waypoint there, if the aircraft was aligned, it's not quite aligned yet. Let me get rid of that nav out discrepancy. What happens is you basically just have a turn on departure set up. And to get rid of that, you have to manually create a disco. So I'm just going to go ahead and insert T, whichever one it is, and I'm going to go ahead and clear T out. So now I've got a disco. Donut coming in with the dollar bomb. Hey, Donut, what is going on, man? Donut's in the back today. Appreciate your dollar bomb, sir. Welcome to the stream. All right, so what I was saying, if we create that disco, now you can actually just fly a runway heading and you don't have to worry about the aircraft navving to a fix right on departure if you don't have a departure procedure. It's rare, but it does happen. New Orleans is one. Oh, I think I've created some monsters. Bank angle check. Thank you for the $5 dono. Why not? He says bank angle check. Oh, this is going to be awesome. I love it. I'm never going to get tired of it. I'm going to have to turn the audio down a little bit on it, I think. But anyway, that's how you create a manual disco so you don't go off onto an RNAV fix when you're not supposed to, and then ATC, you'll be like, what are you doing? I know New Orleans here in the US of A is notorious for that. They don't have a departure procedure, so you just are assigned a tower sign heading, and if you just load in near the waypoint, the aircraft will start navving unless you manually create a disco. So if we have to come back, we'll come back to the 1-1 left, the Zulu X-ray. We're going to insert that, the secondary perf data coming around. Yeah. What do we got outside? 20 on the temperature. Wind is 040. And QNH, I need to look at active sky, is 1014 on the meters. 1014 is set. They should be synced up. They are. 1014 is set. 200 on a DH should we need to come back around. Look at all those bank angle checks. Adam Riviera, I miss your I missed your membership status there. Join in due to all the bank angle checks. But welcome to Private Pilot. Couple of new members. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. That's the #1 way to support the channel. You guys are absolutely awesome. If you need information, more information on your perks, just ! welcome in chat. Nightbot will give you the additional details. So I appreciate all of you. Appreciate all of the support, whether it be donos, super chats, or memberships. You guys are absolutely awesome. So much appreciated. All right, we're loaded up there with the flight plan. Finally, we're going to scroll this up to 340, and now we got to do some passenger loading. So let's pull up the Toliss. One thing I want from Toliss so bad, I mentioned it a long time ago, I might have to mention it, and it's a small, some of you might think it's a small detail, but this mechanic push button right here. So normally I spam that when I'm pissed off and I'm trying to get a hold of the ground crew. So I would love for that to be synced if I press that to pop up the ISCS. I know you can bind the ISCS command. I know you can bind the ISCS command, but it would just be cool if I could bind it to the mechanic push button. But let's load up the aircraft here. Captain Geo, thank you so much, man. $2 bomb, another $2 bomb. Geo, cheers to you, my friend. He says, if you have enough space on your property, I'll show up in my 18-wheeler soon. Tell the wife I said hello, and also check out my landing in John Wayne yesterday. Geo, I will do it, man. Thank you so much. You know what? I've got enough space for your 18-wheeler, but the problem is the roads, man. I don't think you'll be able to get up the roads here, let alone the bridge. I think the bridge might collapse when you taxi or when you drive over it. But, man, I appreciate your support, Geo. Keep doing what you're doing, man, and drive safe when you're out on the road, especially winter season. It gets it can get a little gnarly out there. All right, we're going to take a full load, 220 there. Let's get rid of the aft cargo, though, 3,800. That looks like a good load. We're going to apply these load settings. I'm going to come back down here. We'll go to the init B page. That gives us a 157 and a 0.6 with a CG of 25.0. Wow. Dead smack in the middle for a 321. 25.0 is set. Block fuel per the sim brief says we need, what do we need? Yeah, it shouldn't be very much. 11.9, we'll call it 12,000 pounds for fudge factor. Quick refuel is done. Just make sure I did load that. 12.2 comes here, and we are just about ready to get out of here, guys. We got lots to talk about. It's a short flight, so I wanted to get this done so we can just hang out, talk about side sticks and all that good stuff. We're going to do a flaps 1. Did I not select a runway? I guess I didn't. Bank angle check. Stall check, spin check. $5 dono. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. All this freaking bank angles in chat. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to. I might have to make some modifications, but that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, stall check, spin check. That video was absolutely wild. We'll do a flaps 2 out of here. We'll do a flaps 2, a yoga 37, and 42 on the speeds. 137, 137, and 142. Transition altitude, I believe it's 9,000. I could be wrong, but we'll set 9,000. And we're doing a flaps 2 departure, which is interesting. And I'm going to start getting in the habit of this. So I've told you guys many times that the narrow body does not require the THS setting in the McDo. And while that is correct, with FMS2 on the horizon and looming, and my last sim session, we were full on in an FMS2 sim, kind of learning the differences. And regardless whether it's a Neo now or not, FMS2 will pop up an ECAM that your THS is out of trim if you don't put it in here. So all the times I've been teaching, you don't have to put the THS in there. Theoretically, it does nothing, but now with the new FMS system from Airbus, it is going to pop up an ECAM warning saying your trim is in a disagree. So, and I'm not 100% sure if that's an option or not when an airline purchases a software upgrade or something like that. But for me and where I work, this is going to become the norm. So I got to start getting in the habit of doing it here on stream with you guys. So just one extra step now. Trust me, none of us in the sim knew it. The check airman didn't know it. I didn't know it. The guy next to me didn't know it. We were going down the runway and said, trim, takeoff, disagree. And it was pretty funny because no one in the sim that when I was doing my recurrent had been in a full FMS2 setup yet. It was kind of the first time for everybody. We're messing around with it. And everyone's like, why does the trim say disagree? And I remembered from Toliss, hey, I bet we got to start putting this in the box here now. And sure enough, that's the case. So we got to start loading that up here for the FMS2, even though this isn't an FMS2 aircraft technically. We've got to practice. We got to train like we fly in real life, right? So that's set. Flex temp. That's for noobs. We're not doing that. We're going max yoga as always. So we are pretty much ready to go now. Let's close that. Let's close that. Let's get the APU fired up here. Let's get rid of the ground handling trucks. You guys can go ahead and get out of here. We're going to start closing up doors. What is my, I got to remember, where's my ISC? So I bound it to the space bar. So let's go ahead and close you, close you, close, close. We'll close it all but the front. So that's all closed. Fire you up. Flight Force 77, what's up? Says, I might have to buy that stick now. Flight Force, thank you for the $2 super chat, sir. I will discuss this stick more in detail because there's even more I want to talk about once we get airborne here. But yes, I am rocking the new stick today. New stick today with a, oh, I gotta adjust this so I'll be able to grab this quickly. Set this like that, then I can just toggle. Whoop. Now I don't know about the lights. I can turn on the, I gotta work on the lighting situation. But we are going to be rocking this thing here. So, more to come on that. Jeremy says, I think your Czech airman would be impressed with Toliss. Oh, yeah. No, it was funny because we were doing, after we all finished what we needed to do in the sim, we were actually just like, hey, you guys want to just mess around, do some more stuff. We were doing some FLS approaches down to minimums and all that good stuff so we could kind of both, so we could all see it really, because none of us had really seen it in the full. We read about it, we have updated stuff and all that, but we never actually got to mess with it in the sim. So it was cool that we had a little extra time and we just did all that stuff in the sim. So let's go up to position 2 is fine. Everything else looks good there. Let's go ahead and pull the ground power, pull the chocks, and I think it's time to close the door. All right, windows, doors, and slides, we're waiting on that. Let's get the better pushback coming out here. That looks perfect. Oh, look, we got some traffic out here today. What do we got going on? I didn't even think to look. We got a couple of Vietnam. Oh, we got three. We got three traffics. We got the United 7-4. We got a couple guys down there. Got a 7-8 over here. Look at that. Oh, the sun's already rising. There we go, let's do that. Because there's not much to look at during this flight, so. Here comes the tug. All right, let's do a B4 star checklist. Windows, doors, and slides, close and arm. Beacon on. Thrust levers, idle. Parking brake, it's on for now. Before start checklist is complete. Take a look at these juicy engines over here. Chris Scott, have I ever played Infinite Flight? Because it's so realistic, they just released their 220. I know I wouldn't be interested in it, but I was just asking. Chris, no, I have not. But what's interesting is I saw a YouTube video in my recommended list of the new 220, and I actually clicked on it because I thought it was for X-Plane or Microsoft, but it was for Infinite Flight. I've never once played Infinite Flight or done anything with it, so I'm not the guy to ask. But maybe we both saw the same video, who knows. How often do aircraft get software updates? A major one like this, not very often. You know, the database changes every 28 days. Do an update, but for a key system software upgrade, this is the first. This is what, the third one. So we had EIS1 was the OG, EIS2 instrumentation with FMS1, and now we're going to be EIS2 with FMS2, something like that. So. There's not very many, especially of this size. Every now and then they do tweaks, but this one is a full-blown hardcore update. All right, that's all cleared. Are you guys ready to get off the gate? I think it's time to get off the gate. Let's go ahead and release the brakes. You are clear to push, sir. Now, I lost the audio for better pushback, and I don't know why. But he's pushing us. Look at these engines. Something about a classic wing with that wingtip fence I'm starting to like again. Garlic is minced, Team Vodka. Hey man, it sounds good. You know why buttons are laggy when I hover over them? I was just scrolling back. From all the bank angle check spams, I missed a lot of comments. That, I believe, is because this version of the aircraft supports X-Plane 10. Now, I could be wrong. Look at this nav light reflection. I love that. I think it's because they have native X-Plane 10 support, and that has something to do with it. Or maybe it's Mac support, one of the two. I think I read something like that. I lurk around in the Toliss Discord, just trying to keep in touch with any changes or key features, but I think that's why. But in the recent update here at the 1.3.1, if you pop it out, there's really no mouse lag, or at least it's virtually gone in the 2D pop-up. It's only when you're down here in the 3D cockpit. So I'm gonna wait till he finishes pushback because I want to do a full juice engine startup with both engines, not have to worry about setting the parking brake. Any tips on learning charts? You know, that's been a video that's been asked before about how to decode them, and I actually started editing a video for how to read approach plates and en route charts, and I was going to make a whole series. And then I realized I put in about 12 hours of work, and it's basically real instruction. And I just ran out of juice. You know, it's really hard to just teach in a 20-minute video. I mean, anybody in chat who's gone through instrument training, you know that you probably have a 3 or 4 hour ground session going over charts and symbols and all that. So it's something I still have on the table that I might conquer, but for the most part, man, just try to find some Google it, YouTube videos, see what you can find. I think it is set. We'll go ahead and parking brake set. Let's see if we'll go ahead and start disconnecting before we spin up. Oh, look at that shot. Yep, he's lowering the nose. GNR, 19 months, man. Whew. Thank you for the support. He says, got the bourbon ready for Friday. Yeehaw. Friday is going to be a lot of fun, guys. I hope you are going to join me on Friday. We are going to be back in the PVA historical group, and we're going to be flying BAE 146s in a real-world schedule, real time, regional life. I don't even know why I'm doing this to myself, but I'm going to show up to the office with my lunch and water, and we're just going to literally fly a full day schedule as an AirCal pilot. We got 4 legs, and it's going to be a lot of juice, and it's going to be a lot of work, but it should be a lot of fun too. All right, enjoy the startup. Oh man, these engines with that startup sound, just maximum juice. This airplane sat all night. We need a warm-up time, so we're going to go ahead and multi-engine taxi, 2-engine taxi. Let's go ahead and spin this one up. Look at that spinner, man. Card, I don't know if you're still here, but dude, these are freaking, these are the best ones. They're so good, man. Gosh, I miss my IAEs. We haven't flown IAEs in so long. That was just great. Great. All right, there we go. We'll RMU. We're going to go flaps 2. I believe that's 3. No, that's flaps 2. Come back up here. APU bleed. APU master switch can come off. And our trim was up 0.7, so let me set you. All right, that's off. Oh, transponder for VATSIM, we're gonna turn it all the way on, TARA. And I think we're good. My tiller is still bound. I gotta make sure my yoke is out of the way here. It is, all right. You guys ready? Brakes release. Taxi light on. And where are we going? We are sitting here with the taxi light on. Hate that. Hate stationary taxi light airplanes. 10-9. I just want to use my new push-to-talk switch. Echo Whiskey Sierra 1 Echo. Hanoi traffic, Vietnam 357. We're going to taxi 11 right. Echo Whiskey Sierra 1 Echo, full length to 11 right, Hanoi. All right, all the way down on a right turn. Flight 477. Those sounds are BSS. No, these are purely BSS on this one here. Purely BSS. No FT sim. Wow, I pushed into somebody or I got someone right inside. Sorry, bud. Here we go. We're rolling. Cinematic drive-by view. Enjoy it. I love the Airbus. Come on. How much juice is that right there? That is straight juice right there, guys. That is straight juice. It'd be even more juicy if I could maintain a center line, but let's do another one. Don't really see this much anymore. The 321 wingtip fence. Are you excited for X-Plane 12? Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah, I'm excited for X-Plane 12. Yeah, I've been looking at those photos too. I think it's going to be absolutely sweet. So there's a reason that I'm taking these green lights here. This is technically a low-vis taxi route. So in a real low-vis situation, this, does it have lights? I think it does. Yes, it does have lights. So in a low-vis operation, when the airport is really low-vis, they will publish low-vis taxi routes for the specified RVR, that is, which is such a fancy word for visibility. And they'll be published routes, and they're the only ones that you can drive on are the ones that are illuminated green. So that's why some taxi lines have green lights on them. That's because they are multi-purpose. You know, helps you keep the center line, but those are your low-vis taxi routes should you be operating in a real low-vis environment. Is talking on VATSIM like Kennedy Steve is talking to Tugs, changing his voice. Christian, somebody else said that before too, and I don't know what it is. I might just be like my radio voice. I don't know. I don't do it intentionally. I just, for some reason, it's like you got to be all serious when you press that button, because in real life, when the mic goes down, there's a lot at stake. There's been pilots fired for what's been said over the radio, so there's also been accidents for miscommunication. So when I was taught, you know, how to speak on the radio as a private pilot, it was when you key that mic, you got to eliminate distractions, and it's serious mode. And then when you release the key on the mic, then you can go back to whatever you're doing. But that might be why. Yep, they use the pink low-vis dots. Yeah, the spot numbers, exactly. Nice to see you in a bus again, Ranger Rick. I agree, man. I agree. I've been missing the bus. And you know what? We're going to be on the 146 on Friday for VA Friday. But the next VA Friday that we do, we're going to be back in the V Spirit because we haven't done that in a long time. And I'm hoping maybe I could get Phantom 320 to come stream with me and we'll do a multi-crew stream. That is looking good, looking good. Oh man, Jeremy, he's had a whole month of deferred APUs. Yeah, that would not be very fun. Are you using an engine mod? Yes, I am. Exclamation point engines for the Cartage Wall Realistic Engine mod. They are the only engines that you need to use. We're going to cut across the pad here. I don't think there's any traffic. Clear right? Okay. Negative, Ghost Rider. We're not in the 74200. We don't need to identify the marker beacons. All right, we're going to pull up here and hold short so I can do all my checks. We get the takeoff cam going on. We're going to just make sure we get everything done here before we take the runway. Are low VITS routes only for certain types of aircraft? No, they're for all airplanes. All airplanes. Now, unless there is, it's an interesting point, airplanes like a 380 or aircraft with certain wingspans, those aircraft might be restricted on a certain taxiway, and if that taxiway is a low vis route, then you might have an issue. But all right, let's do our checks here. First things first, takeoff and landing cam. Here we go. So our flight controls, full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right-ish, and neutral. Auto brakes max, takeoff config check. PWS coming on, auto, that is set, and cabin crew has been advised. You've been advised. You guys will see me grab the stick a lot like this, kind of putting my hand on this lower square. This is true to real life. I actually grab it, like especially ground ops, I do grab it like this, and then this is how I do my flight control check most of the time. You know, because if you grab it like traditionally you might think you grab it, it's kind of an overpowering way to, you can over control the aircraft. Now on a flight control check it doesn't really matter, but most of the time, yeah, when you have to go full over, and if you watch my video, I talked about under load. So not necessarily in motion, but holding that stick all the way at the full deflection mark. And in the real airplane, it takes a little bit of time for these ailerons to deflect and the spoilers to go up. So to get that full left call out, you do have to hold it for a second or two. So that's kind of why I do that there. It makes it easier than just holding it with your fingers. Now you also see me rotating a lot, like with my pinky. I wrap my pinky around here. I do that just to get a little bit of leverage, and I'm not really moving my wrist like this. It's more so of a pull, almost like if you've ever shot a gun. Think about squeezing that trigger. I'm almost squeezing my pinky to kind of bring that stick to me. That's how you can really get fine control movements on the stick, because unlike some of the other side sticks that we have on the desktop, which are super light in the spring, you can just kind of do whatever, you know. But I've talked about it in that video where having the proper angle is crucial, because you want to be able to have the right amount of torque and the right amount of controllability over the side stick, which does take a significant amount of force to move. I mean, it's not hard, but it does take a lot more force than any other side stick that you'll typically buy on the market, unless of course, you know, you've customized maybe you have a VKB or a Whirlpool mount and you've tightened up the springs and cams. But as far as just the basic ones like a SATEC or maybe the TCA Airbus Pack or a Logitech Extreme 3D Pro, those side sticks just do not really emulate what the Airbus side stick feels like. So we'll talk more and more about that. I'm sure you guys want to see that. We're sitting here. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Light it up. Hanoi traffic, Vietnam 357 departing 11 right, Hanoi. Lights coming on. Let's do a cinematic drive up. I got that livery off of I&I Builds, I believe. I&I Build store. Dylan, yeah, that's how I make my fine adjustments. That's why I put my pinky here. You'll see my pinky here a lot, and I'm really just kind of squeezing that to me to get the stick moving, to kind of break that static tension, because once it starts to move, it's a little bit easier to just pull back. But to break that static tension, I squeeze my fingers. Oh wow, that was awful. We're not even close to the center line. All right, hashtag fake pilot. Let's get back on center line before we depart into the sunrise. Yes, I can, Jeremy. So right here, see my pinky's on the bottom and my finger is right here on the trigger. All right, we're semi-locked in now. All right, let's get our screens popped out here so you guys can actually see it a little bit better. That should be good like that. That's a little bit too big. Let's do maximum yogas in chat. Maximum yogas in chat. Spool them up 50. Nose forward on the stick. Here we go. Yes, sir. Toga, SRS runway, auto thrust blue. Thrust set. 100 knots checked. V1. Rotate. Is it brake? Gear up. Flyby. And just like that, once it blends, you don't even have to touch the stick. Wow, what a beautiful rotation into the sun. Pretty under-rotated, but... Another one. Flyby. Oh my gosh, it just changed colors. It's pink. Alright, here we go. Let's go ahead and bring that nose down a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and pull heading. Fly heading 110. Flaps 1. Thrust climb, open climb heading. Let's make a right turn to 220. So here we go. Roll it in. Pretty much letting it go. Do a little correction. Get it right on that bank. And then you're pretty much done with it. Less is more. Less is more with the Airbus side stick. Let's do a flyby in this turn here, shall we? Wow, that is a beautiful shot. What a beautiful livery. Definitely a beautiful livery here from Vietnam Airlines. All right, let's get a direct to... Nah. Insert. Bring it back to the left. There's our S speed. You'll see the flaps have already retracted. Now we can go flap 0 after takeoff checklist. Gosh, that's beautiful. Do another flyby here as we come through the top. Beautiful light fix. I like the new lights on this version, this new version. This is my first time in a properly updated 321. The last time we flew it, I didn't have the proper update. Disarm the spoid brakes there as well. All right, I think that's going to take care of that. Man. What does the clicks? So those clicks, that's actually called the mode reversion sound. So anytime you hear those chirps, the chirp, 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 that is a degradation in your FMA. So you've either gone from a nav mode to heading, or you went into open climb to vertical, or maybe you went from a descent climb, a VNAV descent or a VNAV climb, and you went into vertical speed mode. It's a reversion. So anytime you hear that, your eyes should automatically trigger to your FMA. That'll kill you if you don't pay attention to it. So that mode reversion, anytime you hear it, check your FMA, what happened, especially if you're not anticipating it. Oh yeah, I forgot they updated these as well here. Let's see, we don't even have the autopilot on. We're just gonna put it where we want it. Make a small little correction here, just like that. It's official, I want this side stick. I tell you what, guys, I've been searching for, I don't know what, 6 months Let's go ahead and put autopilot 1 on. We'll go back to the live cam here for a little bit. And we'll clean it up here. We're at a 10,000. Let's go ahead and get the lights off, that off, notify the flight attendants that we're through 10. Zoom out the range. And well, that's our transition here in Vietnam. Let's go ahead and bring the sound down. As much as I enjoy the sounds, we're going to go ahead and knock them down to about 30-20% there. The climb out speed will start blaring at us at 340, so I'm just going to set 300 in the climb out. That's a BSS bug. It drives me nuts. I'm sorry, guys, that we're on VATSIM. The whole time I was on the wrong frequency. Way to be a pro pilot, sir. I was wondering why I didn't hear anybody talking. There we go, 22.8. Let's go outside. Let's watch the sunrise. Oh, yes, sir. Oh, yeah. How about that shot? All right, we'll go back to takeoff and landing cam here for a second. So, some crucial things I want to discuss, because I know a lot of you have placed an order for the stick. So, there's some key things that I want to talk about. And if you didn't watch the whole video I posted on it, I suggest that you do, particularly the very end, the setup, the mounting solution, and how you're supposed to properly set your wrist. Now, because the Thrustmaster Warthog base by default, and I'm just going to speak to the Warthog base because that's the one I have. I don't have a Virpil base that I'm tuning. Now, I did mess with the Windwing base for a little bit, and then but I'm familiar with the style of base that Virpil has. So I know a couple of you already are Virpil users, and you're setting up your stick and you're getting this grip to go on top of it. But I'm speaking to the Warthog in particular. So the Warthog, it does have a pretty stiff tension on it to break it loose or to move it. And that will only be exacerbated if you do not have proper hand placement. So I don't know if you can quite tell I'll move my hand forward here, but you want to make sure that your wrist is parallel on your armrest and it matches exactly with the flat plate here on the side stick. Because if your arm is not perfectly parallel or not braced correctly, what's going to happen is you either are going to have two things. If it's in an awkward position, like maybe hanging at an angle like this, you're going to have a hard time moving the stick in fine moments. And you guys saw in the departure, I fly with 3 or 4 fingers at a time. So it's going to be very hard for you to make fine control movements if your hand is not properly mounted in line with the base of the stick. That is why this plate is even here. Airbus designed it that way for a reason. All right, now the second thing that can happen to you, if you mount it too low and maybe your wrist is at an angle up or it's too much, you're going to have a tendency to want to grab the entire stick. And if you grab, I know it's tempting to put your thumb in this little detent up here on the top. You know, it feels really nice and I like to do it, but if you have a tendency, you're going to have a tendency to put your whole hand on the side stick. When you do that, now you're going to have a tendency to over control. So unlike under controlling, if you're mounted in the up position, if you're mounted in the down position, you're going to have a tendency to want to grab the whole thing, and it's going to make you over control the aircraft. And if you guys think I'm lying to you, if you've ever seen, Cactus 1549, Miracle on the Hudson, that video, when they're doing the sim recreations, recreations, the chick that was flying from the left seat in the movie was a real Airbus captain. And you know why? Because the way she was grabbing the stick, it showed her she literally was flying with 2 fingers or 3 fingers. And that is a technique that is taught when you are single engine and or I would imagine in a dual engine flame out, and you have to be extra careful with your inputs, because if you waste energy by making an over command or an over correction, you're gonna end up in a bad situation. So as soon as I saw her 3 fingers on the stick, I was like, yep, that chick, she's a real pilot. She's a real Airbus pilot. At least she's been classically trained on the Airbus in abnormal situations. And again, if you don't have your arm properly mounted, you're not going to be able to manipulate the stick with just 3 fingers. It's all a system. And the real Airbus armrest, I showed pictures of it in that video I released. the armrest in the real Airbus is very adjustable. You can adjust the height, you can adjust the pitch, and then of course your seat, you can adjust the distance to and from the base of the stick. And they, again, it's a whole system. The armrest and stick is a system that goes together so you can properly manipulate the aircraft. A lot of new guys that come to the airplane, and I see them that maybe they're struggling with landing or they have a tendency to overflare, it's probably because they're gripping the stick and they're making excessive corrections. Now, hopefully that gets all weeded out during sim training when they're actually going through training, but I've seen guys come to the line that are new to the bus and they have a tendency to want to over control. Or sometimes the opposite can be true, where they have a tendency to want to under control and they don't get enough. They're surprised at how much force is actually required to manipulate the stick in certain instances, whether it be a rotation. I'll see guys, especially in a 321, that are already hesitant to rotate too fast because of a tail strike. So they're hesitant to rotate, and then they're underestimating the amount of force to rotate the side stick, and they don't have their side stick set up properly with their wrist. That when they go to rotate, and it's a very slow rotation, and a slow rotation is what's called an under rotation, and an under rotation is not good, because if you lose an engine on an under rotation, you're probably going to end up hitting an obstacle. So that's a reason why you again want to be very careful with when you set up your stick and you make sure you have it properly mounted. All right, let me go ahead and turn down this a little bit more here. I'll get to some of the questions there. So there we go. We'll set that up. Jeremy says, I see real pilots using the traditional stick grip, side stick grip still. Yeah, I mean, if your wrist is proper, you can. I'm not saying you can't fly it like this. It's just a technique that I use to put my pinky right here on the bottom. And really, realistically, if it's a very bumpy day, like say we were coming into Dallas today and it's blowing 40 miles an hour, 40 knots out there, yeah, you bet I'm going to have my hands, I'm going to have probably 4 fingers. I'm probably going to have 5 fingers on it. I'm going to have my pinky down here, and I'm going to have all 4 fingers on the stick with my thumb resting in between the takeover push button and that little divot, because you got to be ready to correct. But again, just like any airplane though, you don't want to get out of phase with the airplane. You don't want to make a left correction and then the airplane is still going to the right, and then now you make a right correction and then the airplane is responding to your last correction. That's called out of phase. You don't want to develop that habit. So that's also, Sam, you probably know, or see this all the time as an instructor, pilot-induced oscillations. So this happens a lot with new pilots in general going through their private pilot. It's just called pilot-induced oscillations, PIOs. And that what's happening is you are over-controlling the aircraft because you're making the airplane do things that it's not even doing, but you think it's the outside factors. Now I've seen it on YouTube, I've seen it in real life, but if there's just a little bit of wind, if you start to over control, now you're not only correcting for the wind factors outside, but you're now correcting for your over controlling, and that's when you get those PIOs, or pilot induced oscillations. So just got to be careful of that. And in the Airbus, it's really easy. If you feel like you're out of sync, all you got to do is just let go of the side stick. There's that video on the, I think it's an Airbus. And I know it's an Airbus. I don't know if it's a 320 or not, but they're going around in Gibraltar. Have you guys seen that? And the airplane is literally just rocking left, right. And it's going all the way over to about 67 degrees of bank and then rolling back. You're like, what is going on? That is 100% pilot-induced oscillation to an extreme, but he is also out of phase with the airplane. So that pilot is literally making a full left correction with the stick, and the airplane is going full left, but he's reacting too fast, and then he's going full right with the stick. The airplane hasn't finished its left roll yet, so now he goes back to the left, and then it's just a back and forth. All he had to do in that YouTube video is let go of the side stick. If he would have just let go, the airplane would have stopped rocking back and forth. And that oscillation went on for quite a while on that. I mean, you can just look it up on YouTube. I think it's Airbus go around Gibraltar, and all he had to do was stop flying or let go of the side stick, and it would have corrected itself. But that's I know I just went on a tangent there about the stick and and pilot-induced oscillations and all that. Let's get back to the regularly scheduled juice here. Let's come back inside, make sure we're not You're going to have any issues. We're still climbing out at 300. Let's go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign off. Let's go ahead and enjoy some car to IAE engines. Ooh, should we be there? Oh, no, we got to be here. Ooh, I don't know. I like this one right here. Let's go here. Let's make it just a perfect view. And let's turn down the sound here on the internal a little bit. Make it about 10 or so. Make it about equal with outside. But I need some water. I got to get back to the chat here. Sorry, guys. I went on a rant. Sean says, wow, I always thought that lady captain held the side stick was wrong. It looked awkward. No, Sean. 100% real situation. And again, you're probably not going to, I mean, you can, but I wouldn't say that's the normal way to fly with just 3 fingers on the stick. That's the way to fly when you have an abnormal, like a single engine out, and you're doing an ILS approach, hand flowing. That is the number one thing that we train on a daily basis that you have to be careful of, is an over control during a single engine ILS approach, or maybe you have a V1 cut, an engine failure right at V1, you're in that rotation. And if you're in that rotation and you have a lot of yaw because you got an engine that just rolled back, you can definitely have a pilot-induced oscillation. So that's a technique in an abnormal to ease off your grip a little bit, put 3 fingers on it, and kind of gain control. And in fact, that's kind of where I developed this pinky technique. No one's ever said anything about this pinky technique before, and I don't know if other guys do it. I'm sure they do. I'm not the first one. But I kind of developed that myself when I initially started training on the Airbus. The gentleman that was training me told me about the 3 fingers, and then I did the 3-finger thing for a little bit, but I said, I still feel like I want a little bit more control. So what I did then is I started wrapping my pinky on that base, and you grab that corner there, and all you got to do is just squeeze your pinky ever so much, and it starts to move. It breaks the static tension of that side stick. And you break that static tension, now you can manipulate with just 3 fingers. Sometimes I'll tuck my ring finger, like it's actually behind the stick. So I've got 3 fingers on, I got my thumb up here on it, I got these 2 fingers, and I got my pinky wrapped on the base. Now, sometimes I'll do that if I'm doing a single engine ILS, but I'm at the point now where I feel like I've had enough stick time in the real aircraft that this is pretty much my standard grip in 90% of all situations, with the pinky down here and just 4 fingers on it. But yeah, that's definitely a technique that's real life. Jeremy, have I heard of Mentor Pilot? I sure have. He's a stickler for not rotating too quick, and he seems to always say no more than 2.5 degrees per second. I think that's what it is in the book, right? For the Airbus, 2.5, 3 degrees per second. Over rotating is just as dangerous as under rotating. An over rotation, if you could tail strike. That's probably the biggest concern, and then you're basically just creating a lot of drag there, right? You have excess AOA, so you have excess drag. An over rotation or an excessive rotation is just as dangerous as an under rotation, just in different aspects of the takeoff rule. Because for us, the takeoff doesn't end when right when the wheels come off the ground. The takeoff phase, you rotate, you got to climb out, you got to meet your V2 climb profile, make sure you have enough altitude over distance as you're climbing out, especially if there's obstacles around. So rotation is a big player, and I've seen memos come out for guys, under rotating, because this is all tracked on the Airbus. They have FOQA data, and they came out and said, hey, you know what, we've been noticing a tendency of under rotations in 321s, which are causing airplanes to not meet their climb profiles should they have had an engine out or some type of abnormal. And that's dangerous because guys are getting in the habit of under rotating because they don't want to hit the tail. But if they have an engine roll back at 50 feet, they're not going to have the climb performance to meet the obstacle restrictions on that departure procedure. So the whole takeoff as a whole for real world pilots, and for you in the sim, you just focus the whole time. Don't just give up. Okay, positive rate, gear up, takeoff's over. It's not. You really got to fly through your acceleration altitude before you're out of that critical takeoff phase. Now the whole takeoff and climb out is critical, but until you reach that acceleration altitude, that is typically where it cuts off. That's where your second segment climb ends. That's where all the critical stuff that we really don't talk about on stream or in simulators in general end is at that acceleration altitude. Acceleration altitude is a safe height, really. Google BA Gibraltar turbulence. Yep, Cedar Key, that's 100%. The video I was talking about, that's the out of phase pilot. That's all pilot induced. What's the VMO 8.2? Yeah, like the Boeing, or is it higher? I noticed Airbus usually climbs at a much higher speed. It probably just depends on the cost index, whatever that crew is climbing out at. You can climb out at 340 knots. I mean, if you're in a heavy 321, it might take you a while, but you can do it. 8.2 though, yeah, that's your MMO. Or, yeah. No, yeah, it is, I think. Yeah, 8.2 MMO. Limar says, Captain got me changing my whole grip game now. Hey, you at the end of the day, you got to do what works for you. But these are just things that I have developed, techniques that I have developed over time flying the airplane, and I try to replicate it here in the sim. Wow, good night. This looks freaking awesome. Let me get to I mean, look at these. This is some juice right here. We found the juice, ladies and gentlemen. We have found the juice. What sensitivity? Get right back to that. Andre, 22 months. Thank you so much for the continued support, man. 2 more months and you're going to be full-blown captain bars. I appreciate the continued support. You guys are awesome. All you members, everybody, you guys are all awesome, but especially my members. I mean, your support just has been never wavering throughout all kinds of problems. 2021 was a hard year for the channel, no doubt. It was a hard year because I moved and just a lot of stuff didn't go right, but you guys have been steadfast. I appreciate your support. Just wanted to get that out there. Andre says, I ordered mine. Everyone gets gold for Christmas. Andre, that's awesome, man. Congratulations on your new purchase. Again, give those guys a little bit of time. You know, they're going to make, I think they're probably making quite a few now since the video has gone out. And again, it's not really a paid promotion or anything like that. It's just I have been searching for the perfect setup, as close to the perfect setup as I can find, for, you know, without going into the cockpit build prices. I know there's was it Skylarky or whatever, that's like $3,000. There's or maybe it's $1,000. I can't remember. There's a couple different options for legit cockpit builds, and without going down that route, I have been searching for this for quite some time. And when I finally found it, I just got super jazzed, and I said, I got to get this out. I got to tell you guys, because if I'm this excited about it, I know you guys will be just as excited about it as well. And it will bring the hand flying aspect of the Airbus. You're going to enjoy it so much more. I guarantee you, you're going to enjoy it. If you're whether you're coming from a SigTech grip, maybe a Logitech 3D Pro, or maybe you got the TCA Airbus pack and you've had the stick, but maybe you're going to change the stick out. You're going to be kind of blown away, and it's going to be a learning process. You're going to have to relearn how to flare, relearn how to rotate, but you'll pick up on it. And again, I can't stress how crucial it is to make sure you do put the stick in the proper position. You guys have that video. I have it in detail. I've got some more shots of it on that video to look at, but do make sure you set it up properly, because if you were to put this stick on top of your desk, I'm not saying you can't do it, but you're going to find it pretty difficult, I think, or it might be fatiguing at the very least. After you've done a landing or a takeoff, you're gonna be like, man, my arm's getting tired. This is uncomfortable. That's probably what's gonna happen if you were to not set it up properly. So do try to set it up properly when you pick it up. That's just gonna maximize your enjoyment. Fubar, V1 Nation. I like that, Fubar. I like that, man. What do I think about the FS Labs? I like it, man. I don't fly P3D anymore. I've given up on that sim personally, just because I don't have the money to run it. I don't want to spend all the money to set it up. I don't have the space for it. I'm sticking with X-Plane right now, and I'm sticking for X-Plane 12. It's kind of my go-to juice right now. Speaking of juice, how about some juicy IE engines? Ben Matthews, welcome to Private Pilot, sir! Exclamation point, welcome. Glad to have you on the channel. If you're a Discord user, do sync your YouTube account to your Discord if you do use Discord. I do all the pings in Discord. I do my notifications in Discord. So sometimes YouTube is funky with notifications, but if you're a Discord user, I try to keep the pings to a minimum. I know I pinged you guys a couple times yesterday, but typically when you get a ping in the Discord, it's something important, or I've released a video, or I'm going live. That's the only three things that you'll get pinged for. I know you get a lot of pings in different servers, and it ruins the what's the word I'm looking for? I guess the importance of a ping. I don't know. So, but anyway, welcome on board, Ben. Glad to have you. Did I move in 2020? Yes, Jungles. Did I move in 2020? Yeah, I did. It was the end of summer of 2020, right? It was like September. Yeah, so from September of 2020 until I got the office, it was a pretty tough time for the channel. I mean, I was barely putting out any content. It was hard to upload anything if I did. My streams were slideshow PowerPoint presentations on YouTube. I mean, and honestly, that one stream, we were in the Flight Factor 320, Vegas to John Wayne, I'll never forget. Literally dropping over 70 frames per sec. I mean, you guys were watching a PowerPoint. And we had over 100 viewers the entire stream. And I was like, hey, I'm going to close the stream. The internet's not working today. It's not going to be a good day to stream. And you guys like, no, keep going. We don't care. And y'all started donating and super chatting and commenting saying, we want to see it anyway. And after that stream, I was like, okay, you guys are hardcore supporters, and I couldn't appreciate it more. So I was like, we got to figure out a solution. We got the office rocking right now. So I'm going to have some additions here to the V1 HQ. I'm definitely going to work on the lighting for the side stick cam. I'm going to have to expand my desk a little bit. I want to make my desk a little bit bigger. Let's go ahead and see. We're doing good here. We're at 34. We're trying to overspeed. Let's not do that. Let's go ahead and bring that back. How about 8.0 Mach? Geez, we're burning a ton of gas. 5.0 remaining. Yikes. Yeah, let's go ahead and knock it down to 7.7 Mach so we can enjoy it a little bit more. Let's go back outside. So how often do you nose wheel steer? So how do you nose wheel steer without a Z-axis? Chris, so right now, since I don't have a Z-axis anymore on that TCA stick, I'm using my yoke. My yoke is my axis to steer on the ground. Still waiting for someone to make a nice tiller. I think if you could make a tiller, it doesn't have to be exactly like an Airbus tiller, but just a tiller for a reasonable price. It doesn't have to be super high quality. It doesn't have to be made out of metal. But just a tiller add-on, I think, would be a huge hit for flight simmers, because it doesn't matter if you're in an Airbus, a Boeing, whatever. They all have tillers, right? We have no tiller add-ons. I think there's one for a couple $100, which seems excessive. Somebody posted in the Discord. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to go down that rabbit hole just for a tiller. But if someone could get a tiller out there for sub $100, I think would be worth it. Tricks Life, thank you so much for the dono. I appreciate it. Number 1, should one wait for APU flap to open before pressing start? 2, what is cruise supply button for? Should one turn it on during startup? So Tricks Life, depending, like all things Airbus, everybody has a different method. Everybody has a different SOP. There are multiple APU options for the Airbus. So the old school Airbuses, that used to be the process. And depending on your SOP, which our company SOP said, before pressing the start button, you need to wait for the flap open message on the ECAM. What that does is allow for the computer to finish a self-test before actually starting up the APU. Because if you don't finish the self-test, you will never know if you have a low oil level in the APU until the subsequent startup. If you wait for the test, it'll say APU oil low level. Now, depending on which APU your Airbus is equipped with and depending what update it has, I've been told now that all you have to do is wait 5 seconds, and after 5 seconds you can press the start button, because the start button is not going to actually start the APU until the self-test has been completed, as long as you give it 5 seconds allotment to start the self-test. So kind of confusing, I know. Honestly, I still wait for the flap open message unless it's super hot. Like, let's say it's 95 degrees in the cabin and we just need air, then I'm just gonna probably wait 5 seconds and hit start. But 95% of the time, I just wait for that flap open message, especially if I know I'm gonna be burning it at the gate for a long time. Maybe we don't have ground air. What's an extra 7-8 seconds to wait for the flap open message, right? So that's that part of your question. Crew supply, basically, it opens a low pressure valve for the crew oxygen. And yes, you definitely want to turn that on. That's in your originating flow. So you get into the cockpit, and your originating flow for the captain is you come in here, you go up the overhead, and that's exactly where we start. Crew supply oxygen on. And that way, when you come down here, you have oxygen supplied to your masks. So that's what that is for. It's for the crew. Few below 6,600 pounds. Yeah, we burned a lot of gas there, guys. All right, let's put our heads down here and start setting up for the arrival. Having so much fun talking to y'all about the stick. It's a short stream today, but I gotta save myself. We're gonna have a very busy day on Friday, so I hope you guys do tune in on Friday for our real-time 146. I am absolutely loving the BAE 146. The Che 1 Alpha. We're going to be flying that all day long. All right, basically fly to the VOR is what this says. From Cahillo to the VOR, cross Da Nang at 6730. Is this the meters thing again? No, it should be. Or it might be. Is that in there? Dan, that's 67, okay. And then from there, we're doing the ILS 35 left. So let's load up that. Approach ILS Zulu 35 left. Vodka, what's up, man? Just waiting for it to simmer? Dude, I think there's going to be a new rule. If you start talking about what you're cooking in chat, you have to make some for everybody. All right, let's go ahead and go here. Let's go Prague. Let's go VVNB, or ND, excuse me, VVDN. Da Nang, DN. And we're going to do 11. Oh, no. Is it 11? No, it's 35. 35 left. Put you in there. Perf data, next phase. We're going to slow this down with 7.5 and do 280 on the descent speed because we're cooking up a lot of gas here. Next phase, active sky. Vodka. I know, man. I do have to. I have you to thank for the 146. You got me on that. Ooh, light rain, mist. Few at 500. We actually might have to shoot this approach for real, guys. Overcast 1,000 feet. We're looking at 1013 on the meter with 090 at 4. What? Direct crosswind? Perfect. Did I read that right? 091 at 4. Okay, not 104 knots. 4 degrees, that's fine. Temperature down there is 2.3 with a 1013, I said. So 2.3 and 1013 on the meter. Vodka, I hope you join us on Friday, man. At least one of the legs. It's your fault that I'm going to beat myself up and fly a full day regional pilot schedule in real time for the stream. 264. I'm going to have to bring my own lunch. I'm going to have to pack a bag. But it should be a lot of fun. And I fully don't expect everybody to stay the whole time on the stream, but it's going to be fun. We're going to some cool airports. Tahoe is fun, and of course John Wayne. Who doesn't like a good John Wayne approach? And we're actually going to try to land. We're going to finish it off. We're going to land on the left side of John Wayne because that 146, you can stop it on a dime. All right, we're pretty much all set up. That's all in the box. That looks good. We're going to cross Da Nang at 67-ish. So let's go ahead and set that up here. That is set. Miss Jungles, like when V1 brings coffee and donuts to the office, he brings them for everyone. I'm definitely going to bring some coffee and donuts to the office. Oh, I'm going to have a full setup. I've already told my wife, I said, hey, don't expect me to be around on Friday because I'm going back to regional life. She just rolled her eyes at me. All right, here we go. Mock descent. We're coming down. We'll put that in below mode if we haven't already. There it is. Below mode is set. And let's manage it back up. You going to try to screw me here or what? Let's go manage speed. There's our econ descent window, Jeremy. We had good discussion about that. Right now it's pegged right at about 270 knots, 268 knots. We're going to go... You know what? I'm going to use low brakes just because my rudder pedals suck so much. I really struggle keeping airplanes on the ground. I really struggle keeping airplanes on centerline in the sim because I just... Number one, I'm just not that good, and number two, my rudder pedals are on the way out here pretty soon. Eventually, I'm going to invest on my rudder pedals. All right, we're set up. Low brakes is set. LS push button's coming on. And let's do a flyby, and we can go back to relaxing. I've got the volume way down, but... Good old Vietnam. Da Nang having Magnum PI flashbacks. 6,700 feet is 2,051 meters. Oh, Christian, don't start with that again, man. Dude, I literally have some PTSD from that flight we all did into China, and then ATC came on and is giving us meters, and I'm in an A310. I'm getting called to go to work, and I'm trying to convert meters. It was just a cluster. But this whole tour has been a lot of fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed the Asia Pacific tour. I'm enjoying it. I think we're going to, after Da Nang, we're going to go Da Nang to Bangkok. And then we're going to start working our way north, eventually into Bank Angkor Chek, Paro, Bhutan, which we're probably going to have to do at least 2, maybe 3 streams into there, because why not? I'm not flying all the way back out to Paro anytime soon. So while we're out here on the Asia Pacific tour, I got to try to get the best or get the most out of it while I can before we head back to the US of A. Back to the good old US of A flying. Dedicated Airbus flying. Might do some stuff on Pilot Edge, I'm thinking, once we get back, once the tour concludes. We might dabble into some more Pilot Edge again. I can't remember who was on Pilot Edge the other day. I was watching one of the streamers on Pilot Edge, and I'm like, man, I miss Pilot Edge. Pilot Edge is pretty sweet. So we might do some Pilot Edge stuff. Nothing to do all day. Is going to order pizza? Perfect. You know what? I might order pizza Friday. That might be good. Will I fly more FS Labs, Captain Cloud? Sorry, man. Unfortunately, I've removed P3D from my sim. I just don't have the space for it. No more space for it. I've removed it. So many investments in stick lately, but didn't get some new rudder pedals. Yeah, Christian, that's true. Well, and I'll be honest with you. I said it before. I was sent this stick, but you know I was so impressed with it. I went and I bought the gator for it. I got a separate mount for it, and I initially bought a magnetic base because I wasn't sure what the deal was with the basing situation. This is probably important if you guys have questions about it. So the Thrustmaster Warthog, originally branded was the Thrustmaster Warthog, and you bought the A10 grip and the base. So it was detachable, and that's what I had. I had the original Thrustmaster Warthog. That's what it's called. So Thrustmaster went and rebranded the base part of that without the stick, and it's called the Thrustmaster Magnetic Base. It is identical. It is the same thing. However, you're not buying the stick grip with it. So they've done that because now they've started selling multiple stick options. Like they have an F16 stick, which, well, I guess the F16 is the A10 stick, right? And then they have the F18 stick. So now they make it available to purchase without the stick. So that's why it's called Thrustmaster Magnetic Base. So if you have the original Thrustmaster Warthog, you don't need to buy a magnetic base. It will work. You just take your Warthog grip off. But if you're starting from scratch, there's no need to buy the Thrustmaster Warthog with the grip because you're going to buy the grip separately. So you just need the magnetic base. So I hope that clears it up. I know it was a little I wasn't even sure. So And what's ironic is when I bought the magnetic base from Amazon, they shipped me the TCA officer pack. How ironic is that? I mean, I'm like, what is this? I'm like, first of all, I was like, why would Thrustmaster send me anything? I'm pretty sure that, anyway. But so I was like, why do I have this? And then I realized it was the wrong stuff. They just randomly sent me, it was the flap extension and the, what is it, the other thing on the outside, like another spoiler or something like that. And I was just thinking, what is this? This is not what I ordered. So then I'm thinking I'm just going to do a massive giveaway. I'm going to give away my whole TCA pack. So I've got a throttle, I've got the stick, and then I guess the officer attachments. And then if the other magnetic base comes, I'll probably give that away too on this channel. So I just have to make sure it actually gets here. For all you Americans, Da Nang was the coastal town where the American soldiers went for R&R during the war. Yes, sir. Fubar, you're right. It might have been Captain Canada on Pilot Edge. It might have been. How can you create custom waypoints if you can't show how? Yes, it's in the fixed info page. So you just come down here and you can go. There's multiple ways to do it. I always stress out. Go next page. Go waypoints, and then you create it and you put the lat long. I'm pretty sure it works. I hate messing around with this on stream because sometimes when you mess around with the box, it will scratch, or not scratch, but I'm sorry. Let me go back. Data, next page, pilot waypoints. Here you go. And I'm just going to go ahead and make a new waypoint. There you go. And you name it and you put the lat long. Then you're done. That's all you do. New waypoint. I've got one PBD. I think that's in Vegas. I don't know. Oh no, Aurora? Where is that? That must be, that's in, where's Aurora? Guatemala? I don't know where I made that waypoint at. But yes, that's how you do it. Jeff Faviano has some really good rudder pedals that actually have solenoids in them, and they feel great, but they are super expensive. Do you know which ones they are, Jeremy? Are they the MFG crosswinds? I wonder if it's the MFG crosswinds that he has. Flaps and spoid brakes. Thank you, Christian. Yeah, that's what it was. It was flaps and spoid brakes. When I ordered a magnetic base, I was sent flaps and spoid brakes from Amazon. Start juicing up the sounds a little bit here. Yeah, Golden State, the MFGs are the ones that I've had my eyes on for a very, very, very long time. Since they came out, really. I'm kind of waiting. I saw XP72. He is going to be well, here, I think he's going to be unboxing. I hope I can say it. I don't know if I can say it or not. He showed it on stream. The TPR or TRP, the Thrustmaster pedals, the ones that are actually pendular. So I'm going to wait for his breakdown and review of those probably before I make a full decision on which way I want to go. But yes, I just have a hard time spending money on something that I know works that I really don't have a problem with. Like, even though my rudder pedals are completely busted up, they still work. So I have a hard time spending that much money on something that still works, even though I've kind of developed my own foot patterns now. You know, I press in, I press out. It's almost like flying a helicopter all the time. P-Dag, what's up, man? Welcome to Commercial Pilot. Glad to have you on board, man. Exclamation point welcome for your new perks in chat. Glad to have you on board, man. Welcome, P-Dag. Appreciate all the new memberships today. We've had multiple new members join the channel. You guys are awesome. Thank you. You don't like using the first officer pack? Andre, so no, between the Bravo, so what I have set up now for the Airbus is, you obviously have seen it's the Flight Sim Project side stick, Thrustmaster base, and I'm running the Honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant with the Airbus pack on the Bravo. So the levers are more of an A330, or I'm sorry, A340 style, and they're a little bit small. I wish they were the same size as the TCA thrust levers. The TCA thrust levers actually are modeled, as far as the size goes, or the grips, pretty darn good. The Bravo ones are smaller. They're about half the size. So what I've done to compensate for that is I'm actually running 3 throttles right now on my Bravo. I've got my engine 1, and then I have just a dead throttle that's in the middle, and then I have my engine 2, and they both have the reversers on it. So I'm only rocking the Airbus, but I just have to grip something. You know, I got to feel, I can't just use the 2 little levers that come with the Bravo. That's my only gripe with the Bravo, and I mean, I understand why they did it. It's to fit them all on there. You got to make them smaller than the real thing, but I've spaced them out by putting in a thrust lever 1, a dead lever, and then thrust lever 2 on my Bravo. And the reason I went that route is because the range of motion, especially now with the side stick, I'm going to want to hand fly more. So now I want to be able to move my thrust levers in that full range of motion. The TCA thrust lever range is just way too small to even attempt really to hand fly. So, I mean, you can do it, but like if you take the reverse detents out, you can probably do it. But I want to have reverse detents as well. So got to kind of pick which way you want to go. But as far as my setup, that's what I have right now. Are the tillers on the bus self-centering? Heck yeah, they are, man. Especially if your hand slips. It is definitely self-centering. Runway 35 right, a standard runway, even with tailwinds. I spent a lot of time in Da Nang. I've never seen an aircraft land on 17 left. 35 right. Well, we're landing where we landing. 35. What are we landing on here? We're landing on 35 left. Can we land on 35 left? Why don't we do this? We're going to sidestep. We're going to fly the approach for 35 left. We'll sidestep 35 right. That way I get to some hand flying. We'll sidestep 35 right. So we'll shoot the approach 35 left, sidestep the 35 right. So this is something that you would want to include in your brief, something that you'd want to talk about. Look at the distance between runways. 35 right is actually a little bit further out than 35 left. So if I sidestep late, I am probably going to be low. Actually, I'm probably going to be high on profile. So that's something to keep in mind. If we sidestep late, because this runway is closer, we're going to be high on profile. So that's something that we got to make sure we don't goof up here on the approach. But we are going to shoot the approach 35 left with the sidestep 35 right. Let's do a flyby. We're almost at 12,200 feet. Vodka, you're back. What's up? Food in the oven. Got a bottle of Zin. Ready to party. Vodka. Sounds like a fun time, my friend. Next time I have a long mini overnight, I'm coming to your place. Does the Bravo have detents? The only detents it has are the reverse detents. Nick. Miss Jungles, the Thrustmaster pedals are awesome. They're the ones Mr. Jungles has. All right, well, if he recommends them, then I shall take his recommendation. And Mick, as far as the, like Vodka said, they're easy to get muscle memory. As far as the detents for climb and Toga and flex, really, the Toliss has such a good sound, and even the flight factor, really. Just listen to it. Just you hear that click, boom, pull them back symmetrically until you hear it click, and then take your hand off. I really haven't had an issue, and that reminds me. So I have this is what I have set up for the Bravo. I've manipulated. I think default they're over here. I've manipulated my Bravo detents so I have a little bit more range between 0 and climb, with a little bit of range between climb and MCT, and then it's basically just a click over into Toga, as it is in real life. Because on the real airplane, and I can show you this here in the cockpit, there is range available here. So you see this solid white line? This is the auto thrust range, but there is thrust available right here in this range, but there is no thrust available between these two detents. This is the max that you can go, and then as soon as you go out of flex, you're going into Toga. So there's no selectable thrust in between flex and Toga. All right, we're coming through 10,000. Let's go ahead and light it up. I haven't even checked the map. I hope we don't have, I don't think we've got a trap. We've got 3 in line. We've got a British Airways. Where are you going, sir? Hotel Vietnam, 175. I'm going to go ahead and select speed so we don't fly into that decel point. On the approach, basically take it outbound. It's going to fly a procedure turn for us outbound down to 4,200. So I'm going to just go ahead and set 4,000. What's our outside air temperature? Man, we're getting low on gas, y'all. Plus 13, we're looking good there. It's 5,600 pounds in a 321. We were burning some gas there for a little bit, trying to maintain 8.1. Old 321. Cedar Key, thank you, man. This is before, you said this before, but you're great for explaining tech to those asking questions, especially new simmers. That's what sets you apart. Hey, man, Cedar Key, I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the kind words, man. Chris Run, nice looking sky. I agree, but my clouds aren't 2D, or my clouds are 2D. But I still think they look pretty darn good. I mean, when they go into the ground, it's a little weird, and that flicker sucks, but hey, X-Plane 12, man. X-Plane 12, talk to me. Look at this shot. Doors always open. As for the food, too. Vodka, thanks, man. Wish I would have known that last week. I would have broke the airplane in Mini. It's great when you have lots of travel for manual thrust. Yes, it's kind of a game changer as far as hand flying the Airbus. I know a lot of guys don't want to hand fly the Airbus too much, and I can see why. And I said it before on that video, is I started to not enjoy hand flying the Airbus because I just didn't have the proper stick, and I was using curves and I was using saturations. It's just so much more enjoyable to me, and this is just me personally, and it maybe for you, but me personally, it's more enjoyable because I know what the real thing feels like, and that's another factor too. If you don't know what the real thing feels like, then you probably don't even care. You're probably set up, you could give two cojones about getting an Airbus stick that is realistic, and that's totally fine too. I'm not saying you have to have this stick, no. And if you're someone that wants, maybe you only have one stick, then I will tell you right off the bat, it's probably not a good idea to get this one because you only have two buttons. You don't have a hat switch, you don't have an additional trigger switch. So this is really just for me and what I'm chasing. And I know a lot of you guys are hardcore Airbus fans in chat, so that's why I'm sharing it with you. Because if I find something hardcore Airbus that I'm in love with, I'm going to share it with you guys. But I understand it's not for everyone, and if you don't have it, I mean, there's no reason to even feel bad about it. If it's not in your interest, it's not in your interest. All right, here we go. We hit that Da Nang VOR. Now we're coming down. She's going to do a procedure turn here. This is interesting. I think we need to slow down here. We're going to go ahead and walk this right back to 180 right now. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of spoil brake action because I can tell you right now we are going to rip this turn up. Love all the detailing on the engine pylons. Me too, Chris. Me too. I've missed these IAEs. I know we got the CFM love card and it'd be coming, but I haven't flown your IAE engines in so long. It's just a welcome sight. And to be honest, Vietnam's pretty much all green, right? So even though we don't have any good scenery here, it looks pretty realistic. Alright, so here we are approaching VFE. We're not super heavy, but you can see there's a little bit of window. If you want to go all the way to VFE minus 10, you might never get there, so I'm going to cheat here, VFE minus 8, flaps 1, and look at it, immediately it's going to start dropping that S back. Now we're looking good. Slats are coming out, we've got the spoil brakes out. There's our glide slope coming up. I think we probably have to reset our altitude here. 1924.70. Let's go ahead and set 2,000. And we need to went through transition altitude, so we got to set 10, 13 is set. They're all synced to each other. I'm still rocking that spoil brake. I'm curious to see how she does on this turn here, because we are ripping. I wanted to be at about 180 knots in this procedure turn. Andre, the sensitivities with this setup They're all off, my friend. No curves, no saturation, and turn all that control sensitivity to 0 if you have this setup here. Now, with the different stick, you're going to need a little bit of curve, in my opinion. But with this setup, and as far as the Toliss goes, take them off, because it flies. You will really appreciate the Toliss flight model, even more so with this type of setup. All right, there we go. We're coming back to 180 flaps 2. Here she goes in the turn. Yeah, we are just cooking with gas right now. Now we're doing 200 knots. I'm gonna have to drop the gear here. All right, here we go. We're going takeoff landing cam.
2,000.
Let me turn my lights on. Speed alt star, excessive sync rate. Bank angle check. Bank angle check. 2,200 feet doing 2,000 feet a minute down to the ground. That's less than a minute to live. Never do that. That's my 60-second, 1 minute to live rule. Never be in a descent rate excessive of altitude. If you're descending at 2,000 feet a minute and you're only 1,000 feet above the ground, that's less than 1 minute to live. It's not a good thing. I'm going to walk her back to 160. Hate it when I do that. Flaps 3. So we're going out of sequence here. I know it's all that 180 knots, flaps 2. But I definitely went out of sequence here because of this procedure turn. We're going to do 160 flaps 3. Now we're super low, burning a ton of gas. That's what happens when you don't have ATC and you fly somewhere. Well, I have literally never even seen this airport in X-Plane. I didn't even check to see if there's a terminal there in X-Plane. So it's going to be an adventure for all of us. All right, we're level 2,000, 160 flaps 3, burning excessive amounts of gas now because I did not plan a proper descent. But hey, we got a new side stick and we're going to do a sidestep maneuver. So let me go ahead and get this back on here like that. Oh, there we go. We got glide slope blue, lope blue. We can go ahead and check the cabin now. They're notified. Spoy brakes will arm later. Oh, signs. Man, Phantom didn't do any of his checks on this. Did 0 checks. Another flyby here in the turn. Love the new lights. Look at that guy coming in on the procedure turn. That's awesome. Turn up the external volume. Glide slope star, load star. Manage speed. Gear down. Spoid brakes armed. Flaps full. Autopilot is coming off. I love pressing that autopilot disconnect push button. So juicy. And you know what? We're going to sidestep early, so I'm going to go flight directors off. Vietnam 357. Clear to land 35 left, sidestep to 35 right, clear to land. Sidestep 35 right, clear to land, Vietnam 357. All right, so we're going to sidestep to the right. I'm going to give myself a little bit more juice here because that's pretty slow. Let's do 150 in the V app. Bump it up a little bit. We're going to turn our LS push buttons off because we're not following the glide slope and lope for 35 left. Now we're landing 35 right. Denying traffic, Vietnam 357. We're a short final for 35 right tonight. I love pressing this trigger too. Super juice. All right. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. I can see lights. LS push buttons back on. Sidestep back to the left. Denying traffic, Vietnam 357. Disregard our last. We're going to be sidestepping back to 35 left. Denying.
1,000.
So let's come back to 35 left. Would have been good to have flaps full too. But we're all sorts of messed up on this approach. We are all sorts of messed up. Flaps full, no bird. Bank angle check. Hey, this is what the Asia Pacific tour is about. We're all about bank angle checks here. No flaps. Doing a sidestep maneuver in half mile. We might have to go around here. Let's see if we can get to it. We're already exceeding our... There we go, we're back on it. 800 feet. A little bit of correction there. Oh, it feels so good. There we go. We're back on it.
Minimum 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. Retard. 10. 5.
Spoilers. Reverse green. A little bit of an overflare there. A little bit of an impromptu flare. It's all right. Unstable approach leads to an unstable landing. Let's stow them. $70 knots. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. What did that one say? That one said 99? Or does that say 900 feet per minute? I don't know what that one said up there, but this one said 2 something. That felt about right. Unstable approach is not going to give you your best landing, guaranteed. Alright, here we go. We'll make the right turn here. Go around. Everyone wanted to see a go around? We were fine. We were fine. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Is anybody on final? And Danang traffic. Vietnam 357, we're clear of 35 left. We're going to cross 35 right over the terminal, Danang. Alright, so he's still out there on final. Let's go ahead and clear before we reconfigure the airplane. No FPM views. You know what's weird is I didn't see my other landing rate either. Oh well. We'll analyze it in the replay. I thought it felt smoother than what it gave me, but I also know that we were unstable, a little bit unstable, and then I had a double pump flare. I panicked. Panicked and flared it twice. Alright, let's go ahead and clean it up now that we're clear of the ramp. Or clear of the runway, I should say. Get you fired up. Check your strobes. Let's see, where is that guy at? He's coming in now. Might be able to see his lights out there. Let's take this taxiway in here. Kill that. Didn't start the APU in time. Phantom. Jeez. Yep, I am on VATSIM. No marshaller, so we'll cheat our way in here. A320. Erp. Man, that was a hard erp for sure. That was a hard erp. Engine 2. And as soon as we get engine 1, as soon as we get this, we'll go over to the runway view. See that guy's landing. There it is, engine 1. Spooling down. Here comes someone on final. Breaking out of the fog. That's cool. Nicely done. Looks a heck of a lot more stable than I did. Is that the South? What is that livery? I have no idea what that livery is. Oh, it's Vietnam livery. Oh, that's cool. Nicely done, sir. Nicely done. Who's that? HVN 175. Looks like British Airways is still out there. Ooh, that's a 321. Good deal. All right, we're down 5%. Beacon light can come off. Key 6, exactly, man. That is exactly what you want to do. I don't know. Oh, we don't have the auto gate here. Yeah, this is just a default scenery, I think. I think so. All right, he's down. Let's see what this guy does here on short final. We'll see if we can wait for him to break out, and then we will go into replay mode. Yeah, this runway... Interesting. There's like no markings and no lights on it. He's still ways out there though. Booty, that's you that landed? Nice. Ah, David, that's what it is. Okay, so the newest version of the Toliss doesn't show up. That's probably exactly what it is, David. It was because I updated it. Next, I thought I had, because I know I have it on.
Then and ground, this is West India 198 on final for runway 35 right.
Is that Gio? Is that you, Gio? Give him a little music here. We're going to watch this touchdown, and we're going into replay mode. Oh. Blueberry, you're late to the party. We'll catch it tomorrow. No worries, man. Take it easy, dude. I'll go around with a big kick-ass with the stick cam. We'll have to do a go. We'll do some other stuff with the stick cam. Maybe we should do a pattern with the stick cam? All right, where you at, man? He's doing some S-turns around the localizer. I just want to see if it breaks out. No pressure, whoever's on final. We're all going to be judging you. How do I determine what auto brake setting to use? That will come back in the landing data performance. So when we send our ACARS numbers out with our current weight and all the airport environmentals.
Correction, Danyang traffic, this is West India 198. So to land on 35 left.
So he's landing on 35 left, I can see lights. But yeah, it takes into account all of the performance, and then it will tell you, okay, if you land with auto brakes low, this is how long it will take. If you land with auto brakes medium, and if you land with auto brakes max. And contrary to popular belief, max doesn't mean max selected, because you can't even select max on the panel there. So what it means is just standing on the brakes, essentially, is what max means when we get our numbers back. So now you have to look at those numbers, and then you say, okay, well, do I want, and then I look at other factors, right? I'm like, well, what's the outside air temperature? Am I taking this airplane right back out? I don't really want to smoke the brakes. Typically landing with auto brakes, if you don't have brake fans, they're going to be hot by the time you get to the gate. It's just how it is on the Airbus, unless you're super light, really, and you click them off quick. But summertime, on a moderate load, if you use auto brakes, you're going to get hot brakes at the gate. It's not going to be excessive, but it's probably going to be 350, 325, whatever. So a bunch of different factors come in, you know. What's my density altitude? Is it really, that's kind of, I put all those additional factors in. Me personally, I don't like to use auto brakes unless there is a strong crosswind, so I get even braking. All right, here he comes, man, with the music. Oh, man. Here's the 1,000-footers. Let's see how he does. Oh, a little bit of a floater, a little bit of an early flare. Ooh, buttered, though. That is a greaser. Nice job, sir. Nice job. Very, very, very nice. All right, let's go into replay mode. Let's go into replay mode here. Let's back it up. Let's go into the cockpit here. We don't need sail just yet. Let's see what we did. We got to analyze the landing. I don't know why it's doing that. So we're coming down a little bit of an early juicer there. That was me with the little early juicer. Oh, we set her down nicely. Not bad, not bad. Centerline wasn't terrible. Let's see the Carta engine reversers here. I love that idle sound on VSS. Oh Oh yeah. Oh, look at the particle effect there. Woo. That is juicy. Let's watch the tower view. Oh, there is no tower view apparently. So we were kind of unstable. Like that was no lie. We were unstable. We were left. We were right. We were high. And then I added. So I also made another mistake. I know why it was much of a floater there. I thought my VREF or my V approach speed and FMS speed was right on top of VLS, but I didn't have flaps full yet. So you guys saw me add a couple knots to my V approach speed, but then I added flaps full and it dropped VLS down. So really I shouldn't have had that extra speed because we would have been plenty fine. So that little bit of extra speed right here, I'll show you where it gets me. This is what happens when you have a little bit of extra speed. First off, look at the deck angle and see how low it is. Man, that means you're coming in pretty good. I don't watch it in slow motion. So I have excess speed that I don't need on approach. I'm on my V app, but it's a V app that's improperly set. So I start the flare here, right about 50 feet, 30 feet, where I normally do. You see the nose is pitching up. But because I have all this excess speed, look at the airplane. There's no descent rate. So I pretty much just arrested the descent rate early because I had excess speed on my V app. So now in that case, never, never, never stick the nose down. If anything, all you do is release pressure on the side stick. You don't push the nose down at all. Never push the nose down. And just kind of hold that flat pitch attitude. We're not going to float too bad, and now you can see it coming down, basically just holding that. That's probably the approach angle. I should have had the whole approach, and then just a little bit of a flare there. Keep the nose up. Looking juice. Look at that. Nose is up. That's the sexy part right there. You got to fly that nose wheel down to 321. Fly that nose wheel down to 321 if you want to impress the ladies. Let's get sail playing. Let's watch a few more. Guys, thank you for the great turnout today. It was a lot of fun. I hope to see you on Friday where we have our marathon stream. It's going to be great. Might have to maybe, I don't know. No promises. I'm not going to say anything. But Friday, hope to see you guys here. Thank you all the new members. Appreciate you. All the donations, all the support and chat. You guys are absolutely awesome. Mods, thank you for hanging out here, keeping the chat in line. Until Friday, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. See ya!